Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of my sketchbook tour video. In the previous episode, I ended up showing off a sketchbook that I didn't even plan on showing off, and I did it mostly blind. There was a lot of just having to check pages because I didn't remember what was in there. There was more nude Dracula than I remembered. But this is my previous sketchbook. You can see March and either March or April of 20. I can't talk. March or April of 2021 to December of 2022, and a little slow maybe. Is this like 100 pages in the sketchbook though? I don't remember how many pages are in here, but as I said in the previous episode, I go through sketchbooks a lot slower for a couple of reasons. One, I am cramming as much bullshit onto one page as I possibly can, and also I do a lot more work outside my sketchbooks where I'll just be using better paper. I'm doing a lot more paintings, I'm doing a lot more comics, and unlike middle school me, I am not just doing one crappy anime face per page and moving on to the next one. There's a lot crammed onto every single page. As you can see by just assorted character designs, trumpet playing goblin. Oh, we got some Lobo. We are off to a good start. You'll see I also do a lot of color swatching in my sketchbook. I used to just do random scraps of paper, which actually I still do that now that I'm looking around and I'm seeing random scraps of paper with assorted color swatches. But if I had plans for a drawing or a finished piece in my sketchbook, I'll sometimes do the color swatching around it. You will see that. Again, I've got a 10-minute, 1-minute, 10-second challenge in the sketchbook. This is a really fun way to kind of practice your speed drawing skills or just amuse yourself by how bad your 10-second drawings are going to be. Well, we've got two different things happening here. This is something I was using as a banner image. Plans for something I used as a banner image for a brief period of time before deciding I didn't like it. I wanted to do something completely different. The landscape format is not something I work in very often, so I always have the hardest time finding things to use as banners. I kind of have to do designated pieces. Also, we get hot Pegasus here. I was re-watching Yu-Gi-Oh! In the previous episode, I mentioned I had a painting project I was doing while watching Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't remember why I remember that, but I was re-watching Yu-Gi-Oh! We've got some handsome men here. This is a comic idea that very briefly existed in my head and then just kind of petered out because I have so many other comics I want to do, you guys. I love comics. I don't like how they take a long time. This is my sketch for a illustration of Vincent Price and Alice Cooper. I'm gonna slap that in there because I love how it turned out. We got my boy Grand Moff Tarkin, best OG Star Wars character, fight me. This is a decently good hand. I do feel like maybe I needed some stronger lines. I feel like it's a little bit fuzzy. I do like how it turned out. And here we go. Change of pace, complete 180. We've got some Dragon Quest XI art. In the I think it's specifically in the definitive edition of the game, you can get married and you can marry any character you want. I married Sylvando. This is our beautiful wedding. Sylvando is tearing up. He's so happy. He's a beautiful blushing bride. So there's going to be some Sylvando coming up. But first we have my boy Kernunos, my beloved Kernunos. I want to say... Actually, let me get the finished version of this. I don't think I have ever actually shared this piece. I have this on my altar. I'm trying to not pick up the camera glare, but I do really, really like how this turned out. I'm super happy with it. I have since gone back in with... I think I added some more colored pencil in some places. I think I added more line art around his face also. I'm pretty sure that's what's different. Do I need an eraser for Sylvando? I'm just going to put my hand right there. We're good. We just got some more Sylvando. Those are slimes. Those aren't just like sentient boobs or whatever. Oh, this is... Okay, Lee Week, baby! You probably have heard me talk about Lee Week. It is the week-long celebration of Christopher Lee and all his coolness. So, I always draw my favorite Christopher Lee characters. This Saruman, like, it's relatively simple, but I do really, really like how it turned out. It was just... I apologize for wiggling the camera there, but it's just like a nice, quick drawing. I am happy with that. Yo, we got some more whoa, awesome Space Babe. Nighthawk, I don't... Tell me, guys, does he look out of proportion? Because there's something going on with him. It's like, if you just look at... Do I have enough erasers to illustrate my point? We're going to cover parts of him up specifically to just show... Like, this is all proportional and fine, and it's as soon... Maybe that arm isn't that bad. I don't know, maybe the arm's too short. There's something going on with the legs and my attempt at foreshortening that is just... That ain't it. I do feel like... There's something about this drawing that almost looks like when you mirror a picture of somebody. There's something weird about that, but... It's a sketchbook. It doesn't have to be perfect. It is essentially a dumping ground. This is some more Dragon Quest XI art, and I wish I had done something different with the background because I do like how this pose turned out. I like how the sword turned out. The background is kind of a hot mess. I could even go back in and maybe edit that. I could even go into the original illustration and just cut 11 out of the picture and just slap him on a different background. I could totally do that. This was for a drawing prompt, and I am super happy with how this turned out. And as I said in the previous episode, I do really like to do anatomy studies. I like to study Renaissance art. This was a photo that I was referencing, but it very much has that Renaissance art style that is so fun to work with. And we got some more Julie from Heavy Metal 2000. This is repainting. I'm going to put in the original painting that I did that probably at the time I was happy with. I don't remember if this is the one I did when I was sick and just potentially overdosing on Dayquil, which may have been why I made some bad art decisions, but I ended up not being super happy with it, and I redid it, and I'm going to slap in the redo also, because I am very happy with how that turned out. It might even be time to do a version number 3, because I've said before, I really do like to redo my pieces and just see how much my art has changed over the years. This is a painting that I'm actually surprised I did it that long ago. I was going to donate it for the Wildlife Clinic's fundraiser, and then I think we ended up not holding the fundraiser because this is still in the time of coof. Okay, we needed an eraser. We've got some beautiful Sylvando. This is an outfit that you can just put him in this and he waltzes all across the land in this very low-cut, slutty clown outfit. I'm going to call it a slutty clown outfit. It's magnificent. So this represents both a great success and a crushing failure. More Dragon Quest XI, of course. This is my sketch for a painting of Hendrik that I did that I really, really like how it turned out. I almost would like to go back in and modify it a little bit, add some stronger dark lines, make it a little less, I want to say feathery or blurry. I feel like it needs some harder outlines, but not just completely overdo it. But I'm going to leave the painting alone. I'm not going to just completely mess it up. And then I wanted to draw the character Jade, and that painting died. That did not work. It didn't get out of the ugly phase. I left it in there. Here's some other assorted nonsense. We do have the Noid. I like drawing the Noid, my man. We've got more Sylvando in his slutty clown outfit, but we've also got Julie from Heavy Metal 2000 again. And we've got a sketch for one of my favorite pieces I've ever done of Nighthawk. I'm going to slap that in there. I am so happy with how that painting turned out. And I do feel like it's worth noting that that's basically how that entire piece started out, is this random little sketch right there. Oh yeah, this is what I need to do more often. Frazetta Friday, baby. I'm kind of making a lot of banging noises by hitting my desk. I apologize to the headphone users who are watching this and being like, holy crap, lady, will you stop? But this is I'm doing a study of a Frank Frazetta cover for a Conan book. It's actually not what is printed on the cover. If I remember correctly, sometimes when Frank Frazetta would send his paintings out to the publishing company, they'd get it on the cover. He was very insistent. Mostly his wife was very insistent that he got the original art back. And a lot of times companies just wouldn't do that, but she was very insistent that his art would stay in the family. And what happened with a particular Conan cover is the painting, they say, went missing. I think it was just stolen, because if I remember correctly, the person who supposedly had the painting was trying to kind of weasel Frazetta into sending some stuff to them in exchange for the painting. And Frank's like, go fuck yourself. You're going to send me my art back. That didn't happen. So Frank Frazetta had to just completely repaint the work, because he was going to repaint it the way he wanted to anyway, because that's what he usually did with his covers. But this is my recreation of his painting, probably him thinking about what he wanted to do to the guy that stole the painting. This is some assorted nonsense. I should say I was doing a challenge around this time. It was a daily drawing challenge. I think it was on a Discord I'm on. Basically, you're going to post a drawing every single day. And it's a good way to get you drawing every day if maybe you're not in the habit of it. But sometimes you just start posting complete, utter garbage. Like Jack Scalfani over here. We got some more Kernunos with the little animals. I love this guy. I think I was working as a barista at this time. I was not at Starbucks. I was at a batting cage facility in which I was a barista. That is where my current coffee addiction set in. I was not a coffee drinker. Oh, here's an example of complete garbage that you start drawing when it's 10 o'clock at night and you haven't posted your picture yet. You start posting stupid things. Or you just start doing random handwriting practice, which this is probably around the time that I did start working on handwriting practice. And I've actually got way, way better at it since then. I didn't realize the value of practicing your handwriting until I started hand lettering my comics and realized that my writing was slightly incomprehensible. So that's a good thing to study. Another good thing to study is Dracula. These Draculas over here, this is more like the Christopher Lee Dracula, my favorite flavor of Dracula. But I was sketching this guy kind of inspired by how Dracula's described in the book. This is kind of an older... I do really like how that turned out. That would be fun to revisit. This is all random garbage. There was an attempt at dip pens. Complete rage at the result. Rob's world famous pig cups. There was an inside joke here. I was trying to do this thing. Again, I was working at a batting cage facility and I was taking busted bats and trying to make them into art pieces. This is one that was a good idea that ended up not really going anywhere. I ended up not liking how it turned out. This, I like these birds. Everything else is a little scratchy and wretched, but the birds, they're scratchy and wretched, but in a likable way. There's some Nighthawk, and there is my beautiful cat. He is a beautiful boy. I'm not going to turn the page. I got erasers, but I'm just not going to turn the page. All right. We got some more of 11. This was for a zine. It was, I don't know how to describe it. It's, everybody's going to draw a character who's in Super Smash Bros. And they're going to be eating ice cream that's like based off of the character. So, and it was a big list that you could pick from. They had a Smash Bros. Character, and then they already had some kind of ice cream that was paired with the character. And so if you wanted to pick, they just refer to him as Hero, but I drew him specifically as Dragon Quest XI's protagonist. The ice cream he was paired with was mochi ice cream, which I think is perfect because it looks like one of the little Dragon Quest slimes. So that was just like a fun little piece to do. This is some other assorted nonsense. That is actually one Decimo from Fairly Odd Parents, the inexplicably sexy fairy. And then there's my cat Claudia. She is very beautiful. Oh, hell yeah, we got some Lobo. We are off to a good start. I like how all of these turned out. I love the Ninja Turtle. Actually, I had posted that one on DeviantArt, and the official, I think it was the official DeviantArt Twitter account actually posted that. And I was pretty proud that day, considering it was just like a quick little simple drawing. But it was fun to do. This is what my cat does at 2 a.m. Oh my goodness. Oh, this was actually an art challenge on Twitter. It had something to do with a swimsuit that was partly transparent. That ended up being a neat challenge because you're trying to draw a transparent material. I know the whole point of the challenge is to draw some thirsty art, but it ended up being a super helpful challenge, I think. Oh, these are some sketches for tiny gyroid paintings. That was the original sketch for Brewster. Do I have him over here? Yes, I absolutely do. My boy Brewster. My brother in coffee loving. This is also HM Wogglebug TE. I don't know how to explain the joke. Maybe it's better that I don't. This actually led to me getting a few commissions that were specifically Wogglebug related. I'm not going to share those. Actually, this is another commission. I haven't seen the film Whiplash. I've heard good things about it. Whiplash combined with internet strange person Russell Greer. That's what this commission was for. The final piece, this was all colored in the end. The final piece was pretty amazing. Oh, this is an unironic Sonic OC. This, actually, I had a lot of fun with this. This was inspired by a Drawfee episode where they were creating Sonic OCs, and they all made just very sincere, fun Sonic OCs. It wasn't like, let's make the stupidest, most edgy thing ever. It was, let's just genuinely make a fun character, and I liked that. So, Virginia the Possum, I mean, she's dressed a little bit edgy. She's got her trip pants. She's got the dark chow, but she is at her core a very kind character. She loves chow. That was always my favorite thing in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, is the chow breeding, just taking care of your little animal friends. That was always the best part. I was drawing a lot of dragons for a while because, hell yeah, I think drawing dragons is always a good idea. I can get some erasers for the next page. There we go. It's just anatomy studies, but still, I never know if YouTube's going to get weird about things. I don't like to censor my art because I don't think there's anything fundamentally bad that I'm drawing, but you never know who's going to get weird about things. But I think we can all agree nobody is offended by dragons. Dragons are always cool. I was doing some quick wolf sketches of this. We've got a random ladybug. I don't know why I drew a ladybug, but I'm glad I did because that is a delightful ladybug. I've got... I don't even know what Whoa Awesome Space Babe issue this is anymore, but it is a Whoa Awesome Space Babe cover, and I like how that turned out. I am going to slap that in right here so you can see what I'm talking about. This was also an art prompt for the Monsters Holding Bitches Draw Club. I do a lot of art prompt things in here, so if there's something that's just particularly incomprehensible, like this is a Drawfee inside joke. If you're wondering who Todd from Mario is, it's an inside joke. And also, oh my fucking shitballs, it's the dog who can drive. Again, it's a Drawfee inside joke. It's a little hard to explain. I don't think she needs the eraser. Technically, her boobs are covered. It's just sheer material. We'll focus on the kobolds instead. This was also for an art prompt. Ooh, this was some commission stuff. This is a piece that took me a long time to do, but I am glad with the final results. This was for somebody's RPG module, and it was like a Mad Max scenario, but also with a magic system combined. Super, super interesting concept. I might actually slap in the finished piece I did. This was very interesting to work on. Again, these are some various random sketches. This is actually, I was doing some Maya and the 3 art for a while. Mostly I like drawing Zats the most. But this is kind of like the modern day interpretation of Maya. I like how this sketch turned out. I wanted to do a pose that was a little more energetic. I can explain. So this is also Monsters Holding Bitches Draw Club, so blame them. I kind of feel like after I die and Anubis goes to weigh my soul against the feather, this isn't going to be a major problem, but I think he's going to bring this up. But yes, this was a prompt. I don't actually remember what they wanted me to draw and how much of this just was my own decision. But, okay, blame the Draw Club. Oh, I think this is something I did on camera, and I have a video of this. This was actually a DeviantArt tutorial, a wolf drawing tutorial. I'm pretty sure I did that on camera. Either the whole process or maybe just the sketching. But this is some more Easter art in the vein of what I did in the last sketchbook. This was oh my goodness, the 100 Faces in 10 Days challenge. I know I said at the beginning of this year I was going to try to draw 100 really good portraits this year, and I kind of just didn't. Well, the year before that, I was doing 100 faces in 10 days, which initially sounds very easy, but it very quickly got a little rough. So I started out here. There's actually a lot of fitness personalities, and then I just drew some 3 random faces to round it out, because pretty sure that's Frank Zane. I really do like how that sketch turned out. Number 2 is Brian Shaw. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's definitely Brian Shaw. He's got kind of a distinctive look. Number 3 is Larry Scott. 4 is a young-ish Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's got the very 70s hair. I feel like my generation, at least, we think of Arnold with like his Terminator haircut, so seeing him with the very 70s hair is always strange. 5 is Fouad Abiad. Number 6 is Laura Combs, and she is a OG lady bodybuilder. She's actually no longer with us. She passed away back in the 70s, and I think that is a shame, because it would be cool to see where she is right now if she was still with us, because she was pretty influential in the world of female bodybuilders. Number 7 is Nala Monroe, who is a model I like on Instagram. I definitely want to draw more art of her because she has a look that I like. She's got a look that I kind of would like to have. And then the last 3 are just random people that I just kind of came up with. All 10 of these actually came from a collection of famous photos. I've got like the Time magazine, really iconic photo collection, and so I was sketching based off of those. Actually, number 14 is Jackson Pollock, so I do have some artists represented here. This is where I decided I needed to tackle things more systematically. So I started with these ones. This is the mugshot edition. Some of these are famous, terrible mugshots. This one I liked. This was like a vintage mugshot of this lady who I so badly want to know what she got arrested for, because both this side profile and the front picture, she has got this little smirk on her face. And it's like, lady, I want to know what you did. So at first my plan for day 4 is, what if I do vintage mugshots? And I decided to just look at some vintage pictures in general. So I do really like the assortment I've got here. This one was all awesome Space Babe characters. Some have actually showed up in the comics, some haven't. Night Wolf, this guy. God, I gotta... This is why I really don't want to just stop the comic, because I want to get this guy in here. Nighthawk has an evil twin from another dimension. It's like somehow even hotter, and I just gotta have him in the story. The 51 through 60, this one might be a little controversial. I've got some internet famous people, varying levels of internet fame. Russell Greer, again. Jack Scalfani, Jack Salmonella Scalfani, the mayor of mayonnaise. Tammy Slayton, who has lost a tremendous amount of weight since this image. If you're familiar with 1,000-Pound Sisters, Tammy has actually slimmed down a lot. This guy is a little bit obscure. This guy's actually a cool guy. Odd dude, but I like him. Nico Cotto Avocado, a lot of people are going to know. And then Quick needs no introduction. The rest of the illustrations, these are all Animal Crossing characters. Some characters that I have currently on my town still. A lot of my favorite characters. I really like how Harv turned out. I like how everybody turned out in this batch. I did another Animal Crossing batch. I'm not as happy with everybody. I still like Kyle. Kyle's one of my favorites. Dom, I have never had on my island. I have seen somebody else's town where they had Dom, and he's a fun character. And then I did that Kukui. Man, that I might need to cover Kukui. He just looks so bad. I love Kukui. Former trumpet player of Metalachi. I drew him all the time, and I don't know what the fuck happened. That just turned out terrible. Everybody else looks fine in this assortment. And G.G. Allen, you can't mess up G.G. Allen. You draw anything and call it G.G. Allen, just smear enough crud all over him. And then I finished off with some orcs of varying quality. I think the last one's got a little wretched. I just put all my awesome skills into Duratan and Grommash, and then everything else started to peter out from there. I apologize for how scratchy my voice is getting here. I've been doing a lot of filming, a lot of talking. I do have my water. I am hydrating. Staying nice and hydrated. This, I think I did this on video. I don't remember the 10-minute one looking quite that bad. 10-minute... 1-minute Batman, we're still reading that. Actually, even 10-second Batman, I'm kind of seeing it. I almost like the 10-second one more than the 1 minute. You still got the core of Batman. This is some more Lee Week illustrations, which I liked how almost all of these turned out, except for the last one. I was not happy with the last Lee Week illustration. I misspelled Gallic, and give me a second. I can't let that slide. I might have just... There. That's supposed to be a G. That's probably all that happened is I just messed up. Oh my god. That's supposed to Lynette. Okay, you guys don't care. You guys don't care about my Gallic mistakes, but I do. This actually almost determines that was... Well, no, I spelled Gallic wrong there. So I had Gallic spelled wrong there. I spelled it wrong there. I spelled it right there. And I spelled it right there. Oh my... I don't know, man. I don't know. That is the Duolingo owl coming to murder me, by the way. Oh, these are both fun pieces. This was a commission. One of my art homies. He always posts cool stuff. He is a cool guy. The Dapper Zombie. You can find him on... He's on Twitter as the Dapper Zombie. I think he's Dap to Death on Instagram. This was also a DeviantArt challenge. This was a follow a tutorial on drawing a mermaid. So I like how she turned out. That was a fun thing to do. We have more mermaid. We have more boobs. Do I need to just slap some erasers? I didn't put an eraser on the last one. Maybe we're fine. I don't know. Oh, this is a wooden sword plan. This actually turned out really, really cool. It took a while to do. I think it was wood that wasn't good to work with. I have a unique talent in finding the worst possible wood for the job and then just making my life harder than it needs to be. Anytime I've tried to woodwork. I like how this ring wraith and this horse turned out. It was plans for a piece that I just never got around to doing. This is, I think this might have been sketches for an Art Snacks video. I'm almost certain. Oh, hell yeah. This is Attila the Hun, one of my favorite historical figures. This started out just as a pencil sketch, and then I ran with it. I started inking, decided it needed some color. I'm glad I did. I love how he looks. I wanted a look that said, like, he's kind of hot, but in a really busted way. That's what I was going for. I like to envision him as a guy that probably was very handsome at some point. This was also an Art Snacks. That is honestly not a very good drawing. My early Art Snacks unboxings, I don't think the videos are very good. I was doing such... It felt kind of... This feels kind of low effort. I might have gotten a weird assortment of pieces. I feel like my later Art Snacks videos did get significantly better. This is actually, and let me find it, give me a second. This was actually the original notes for Brain Fart Comics 5 and the coloring page, which I did a video of me working on the coloring page when I was absolutely sick as a dog, and I did the voiceover several days after actually filming it. I really could have waited. I don't know why I'm like this. I definitely could have waited to do it, but this was me sketching out generally what it was going to look like and what I kind of had in mind for the finished piece. Here is some more random sketches. This was a Monsters Holding Bitches art prompt. I love how this dude came out, or turned out, I mean. I think the white highlights kind of coming up against the black outline turned out really cool. This is some other assorted nonsense. There's some Sonichu. Oh, goodness gracious. If you don't know, don't worry about it. There's ponies on this page. I'm not sure why. Oh, yeah, my boy Fergus. Okay, Fergus. I want to do more with this character. I've had this character around since I was in middle school. He is accidentally a complete ripoff of the character Slain, or Slanya, as I've heard it pronounced, as I like to pronounce it, because I look at how it's spelled in the accent and it's like, oh, it looks like the word Slanche. It's probably Slanya. So if you're sitting there like, why the hell are you pronouncing it Slanya? That's why. But my boy Fergus, I accidentally ripped him off of the character Slania because I saw an illustration of this cool Celtic warrior guy and was like, I'm going to draw a character that's basically in that vein. I'm going to draw a cool Celtic warrior and he goes on adventures. And I found out years and years later that that wasn't just a one-off illustration. That is a character who already exists. So anything I do with Fergus, I gotta just make sure he's not gonna be too derivative of an existing character. Which he does have a little fairy companion. I'm gonna put fairies and crap. I'm thinking of giving him a unicorn, maybe. Hello, Catullus. That's my cat howling. Hi. Catullus has some comments. There's Zats from Maya and the Three, and also this is my $1 million idea, guys. This is how I'm gonna make my fortune. This is the Snurgle. It is the blanket for if you are neurotic like me and you need something on either side of your head when you sleep, but you don't want to cover your face because it's hard to breathe. This is a blanket with a face hole. That is the Snurgle. And also, if you are like me and you're a bit of a hot sleeper, there is there's like a crotch cutout, like a leg panel. So your torso is going to be a lot cooler, but your toes are covered because you don't want the boogeyman to suck your toes at night. So you will be safe with this Snurgle design. Oh, this is Celtic Warrior 3. So previous sketchbook, we saw Celtic Warrior number 2. This is number 3. This is our third version of the piece, which I'm super, super happy with. This is just something that gets significantly better every time I draw it. Oh my goodness, now we've got Sheogorath in here. So if I had an infinite amount of time, I would be drawing a comic based off of this character and Sheogorath. I've got a fan fiction I'm writing that I want to do illustrations with. When I actually post the fan fiction, I am going to do illustrations featuring this character. Her name's Marcy, and then her love affair, or maybe that's not the right term, how she ends up tied up in the world of Sheogorath. And I won't say too much because I don't want to completely spoil the story. I'm still working on it. But it is a passion project that I do have on the burner. And oh my god. I just love how this piece turned out, even though it's just, all it is drawing and random watercolor in the background. I just love how Sheogorath's face turned out. Oh, this is my orc costume. You guys have seen that. If you saw my 100 subscribers special, I was rocking the orc suit. This, okay, I decided at this point of the sketchbook I didn't like the banner art that I had on my various social media sites, and so I was going to do another one. And so I have some Celtic warriors fighting orcs. I have some just loose sketches of warriors, pose sketching. That's something I want to do more often. And then we get some more Sheogorath. I love this outfit I designed for him. I was trying to turn like that belt buckle he's got in Oblivion into like a cod piece, because I feel like that's what Sheogorath needs. If his design is great, if he had a really big cod piece, that'd be a perfect design. That's all my boy needs, is just a cod piece large enough to get your attention, but not to feel like he's over-representing himself. Or overcompensating, I mean. It just feels more like advertisement. This was some weird art prompts. Apologies to Nico Cato Avocado, or maybe not apologies, I don't know. Some random nonsense. There's some pumpkin carving. These all turned... I loved how these pumpkins turned out. I'm going to do something like this again this year. I like doing the type of pumpkin carving where it's not even just like classic jack-o'-lantern. It's just you're full-on carving into the flesh of the pumpkin to make a 3D art piece. That is my favorite kind of pumpkin carving. This is for that same role-playing commission I was working on. I might actually slap that illustration in also. I really liked how this turned out. This is actually kind of more of an anime thing, which I don't do very often, but just for shits and giggles, I was kind of going more anime. You'll get some Lobo. It looks like, okay, this is some sketches for the Art Snacks video where I actually did draw Lobo. That was a really fun episode. You should check that out if you have not already. Ultimate Warrior, the wrestler. Again, I've got a video about this. Ultimate Warrior made a comic book back in the 90s. That is the most god-awful thing ever. I've known about it for a very long time. I was delighted to actually find issue 1 in the wild, and I expressed my delight by recreating the cover, which I'm gonna slap in my version of the cover. I am very happy with how that turned out. I ought to draw some more Ultimate Warrior, because I remember when I was younger, middle school maybe, when I first learned about this comic and had no goddamn idea who WWF Champion Ultimate Warrior was. I was just fascinated by this train wreck of a comic. I would draw Warrior as he appeared in this comic in my own crappy middle school me attempt at anime styles. So it was a very big deal to come across this comic. This was around Christmas time, so I did a watercolor painting of an owl for my grandma. I couldn't remember what I had painted her the previous year. It was an owl. I accidentally have painted her more than one owl, but that's okay, because last year it was a barn owl, and, well, year before that it was a barn owl. Last year I did a snowy owl, and then, actually, my step-grandma, I painted her a kingfisher, because she's seen some of my other watercolor art and really, really liked it. So I wanted to do a special painting for her. And is this how we finish out? In the last sketchbook, I had that Toxic Avenger painting for the original version. Actually, let me get the painting again. Last sketchbook, I had the original Toxie sketch for the original version of this painting. And then this is the sketch I did with the intention of repainting it. And like I said in the previous episode, I'm really glad I actually did repaint this, because I am happy with how this looks now. Oh, this was actually a Christmas card for somebody. It was a Secret Santa thing online. And is that it? Well, the very last thing, I remember this was swatching for an Art Snacks episode. This was for my Krampus illustration. I'm going to slap it in right here. And that actually does bring us to the end of my sketchbook. My sticker came off. There. Okay. That does bring us to the end of this sketchbook. And I think this is as much as my voice is going to last. I apologize for how increasingly scratchy my voice has gotten. I am doing a bit of filming today, so it's been a lot of talking. But thank you guys for coming along on this journey with me, seeing what weird things happen in the sketchbook. I did skip some pages, so I still have my secrets that I'm keeping. But I hope you enjoyed looking through. Please give the video a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see some more content in the future. And I hope you have a great time making art.